The power of Fajr Namaz in your life. While the world is fast asleep, the chosen ones are wide awake. Not for wealth, not for fame, but for something far greater. A direct meeting with their Creator. At a time when darkness still covers the earth, light enters the hearts of those who rise for Fajr. This is not just a prayer, it's a spiritual revolution. Fajr isn't the start of your day, it's the start of your success. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Dear brothers and sisters, among the 5 daily prayers, Fajr holds a unique power, a quiet serenity, a hidden strength, a divine connection that can transform your life in ways you never imagined. It's the moment when the world is silent, but your soul is loud in worship. It's the hour when angels descend to witness your devotion, and Allah showers you with His mercy. The Prophet Muhammad said, "The 2 rak'ahs before the dawn, Fajr prayer are better than this world and everything in it." Imagine waking up and earning more reward than all the wealth and luxury this world can offer, just by praying Fajr. It's not just an act of worship, it's a powerful habit that unlocks barakah, inner peace and spiritual strength. Fajr is the believer's daily declaration. Ya Allah, I choose you over sleep, over comfort, and over this world. And in return, Allah chooses you for His guidance, His protection, and His eternal rewards. Fajr aligns you with divine timing and discipline. The Fajr prayer is not simply a ritual obligation. It is a profound act of aligning oneself with the divine rhythm that Allah has created in this world. It represents the very beginning of a believer's day. And by choosing to rise from the warmth of sleep and the comfort of bed to bow in worship, a person is declaring that obedience to Allah takes priority over personal comfort. This act alone, seemingly simple, carries layers of spiritual meaning. In the early hours of the morning, before the sun has risen, when the streets are silent and the world is largely asleep, the believer rises not to meet the demands of the dunya, but to stand in the presence of the Lord of the worlds. This discipline, waking up while the rest of the world slumbers, is not easy. It demands commitment, intention, and willpower. Yet it is precisely this struggle that purifies the heart. Every time you push your soul to rise for Fajr, you are weakening the grip of your nafs, ego, and shaitan, and you are strengthening your submission to your Creator. This moment becomes not just a physical act of worship, but a spiritual realignment that sets the tone for the entire day. It is as though you are spiritually tuning your heart to the frequency of divine remembrance. The more consistent you wake for Fajr, the more your internal clock begins to adjust, not just physically, but spiritually. Your heart becomes conditioned to seek Allah before it seeks anything else. You no longer crave your phone, social media, or even coffee when you wake up. You crave sujood. You crave that quiet, intimate, undisturbed connection with your Lord that only Fajr can provide. Fajr also builds discipline in the most foundational way. It reorders your priorities. It forces you to reconsider how you spend your nights. You begin to sleep earlier with the intention of waking up for Salah. You learn to control your indulgences at night, excessive entertainment, idle talk, procrastination, because you know that these things will cost you the ability to wake for Fajr. In this way, Fajr teaches you to live with intention and structure. You're no longer living reactively, but proactively. You begin to arrange your life around your Salah, instead of trying to squeeze Salah into a life full of distractions. That shift, though subtle, is life-changing. You go from being someone who lives at the mercy of dunya's demands to someone who governs your time with a spiritual lens. Fajr becomes the cornerstone of a disciplined life, and everything else begins to fall into place. Your focus, your work, your time, your emotional stability. The connection between Fajr and productivity is not just spiritual, but even observable in worldly terms. Studies in psychology and neuroscience confirm that rising early leads to improved focus, greater emotional regulation, better decision-making, and heightened performance. But for the believer, this is not new. We were already taught this over 1400 years ago by our beloved Prophet, who made dua, Allah bless my ummah in its early mornings. This divine blessing in the morning is called barakah, and it is real. You will often find that the tasks you perform after Fajr are done with greater ease and effectiveness. It may seem as if you've gained extra time in your day, but in reality, it is Allah putting blessing in your hours. The one who prays Fajr and then utilizes the morning hours for worship, reflection, or beneficial work will find that they accomplish far more than someone who sleeps through this sacred time. It's not just about time management. It's about spiritual alignment with divine wisdom. When you follow the routine that Allah and His Messenger recommended, sleeping early, waking before sunrise, starting the day with Salah, you are walking in the footsteps of the most successful people in both dunya and akhirah. Moreover, the timing of Fajr is full of spiritual symbolism. It marks the transition from night to day, from darkness to light, just as your prayer at that time marks your own transition from heedlessness to remembrance, from self-centeredness to God-centeredness. Just as light breaks through the horizon, so too does spiritual clarity break through the fog of the soul when one performs Fajr consistently. This is why the Quran calls Fajr prayer a moment that is witnessed. Surah Al-Isra 17:78, witnessed by the angels, by Allah, and by your own soul. Angels specifically record those who rise for this prayer. This year, the two groups of angels alternate shifts over us, and they meet at Fajr and Asr. Those who witness your Fajr Salah ascend to Allah and report your obedience. What better way to begin your day than having your name mentioned in the heavens because you chose to pray Fajr? But perhaps even more powerful is how Fajr molds your identity. It becomes a secret between you and Allah. Unlike other prayers that occur during the busy hours of the day, Fajr is quiet, hidden, and intimate. You don't wake up for Fajr to be seen by others. You do it purely for Allah. This sincerity carves out a deeper level of ikhlas, purity, in your worship. You no longer just identify as someone who prays. You become someone who belongs to Allah, someone who is awake while others sleep, someone who has disciplined the self to respond to the Creator before responding to the creation. It becomes a sign of your love for Allah that no matter how tired you rise, no matter how cold the morning air and you make wudu, no matter how tempting the blanket you push it aside, all of this, not for show but for the sake of Allah alone. And Allah sees it, He rewards it. And He transforms your heart through it. In this way, Fajr is more than just a prayer. It is a spiritual training ground. It is a test of sincerity. It is a tool for self-mastery. It is a hidden source of strength and a gateway to the light of Allah. It is a moment of alignment when your body, your mind, your heart, your schedule, and your soul come together under one purpose: to worship the one who gave you life. And when you start every single day like that, there's no doubt your life will change. Fajr brings divine protection and blessings throughout the day. When a believer rises for Fajr, even before the sun has cast its first light, they enter into a divine shelter that shields them from both seen and unseen harms throughout the day. Fajr is not just a spiritual duty, it is a fortress of protection built by Allah Himself around the one who prioritizes this sacred hour. It is at this delicate time, when most of the world sleeps, that Allah's mercy descends in a unique way upon those who respond to His call, leaving the comfort of their beds to stand in humble submission. This act alone opens the door to a day filled with divine protection, spiritual clarity, inner calm, and barakah, blessing, in every aspect of life. Many of us struggle with the burdens of daily life, stress at work, conflict in relationships, financial pressure, health concerns, or fear of the unknown. What if there was a shield that guarded us from these trials, or at least gave us the spiritual resilience and divine support to endure them? That shield is Fajr. It's not just a ritual. It's a profound spiritual investment that secures your heart, mind, and soul against the challenges that the day may bring. It's a divine assurance that even if the world turns against you, Allah is already walking beside you, because you walk to Him in the early dawn. The Prophet Muhammad said, "Whoever prays the morning prayer is under the protection of Allah." Muslim should stir our heart. Imagine having Allah's protection as you walk out of your house. as you drive your car, as you enter the workplace or the classroom. When others face anxieties or fall into emotional distress, you're already anchored by the early remembrance of Allah. Fajr is not just a moment. It becomes the foundation of a spiritual immunity that keeps you protected physically, emotionally, mentally, and even financially. The protection that comes with Fajr is multi-layered. First, there is spiritual protection. Shaitan is weakest at Fajr. When a believer wakes up and performs wudu, he washes away sins and lethargy. When he says the adzakar, remembrance of Allah's Fajr, he builds spiritual armor. Shaitan whispers, sleep a little longer. But the believer who rises overcomes his whispering, thereby starting the day victorious over the enemy of his soul. This victory is crucial. It sets the tone for resisting sin, avoiding misguidance, and staying on the straight path. Second, Fajr brings psychological protection. The peace you receive after offering Fajr cannot be found in the world's entertainment or distractions. The silent serenity of dawn, the calm before the world awakens, grounds the heart and mind. In this stillness, your soul aligns with your purpose. This spiritual clarity protects you from the storms of anxiety, the chaos of negative thoughts, and the distractions that pull others into despair. People often say, I feel overwhelmed, or I feel lost. But the one who consistently prays Fajr is rarely lost, because he has already found his direction before the sun rose by turning toward the one who controls everything. There is also emotional protection. Life is full of tests, loss, heartbreak, disappointments, betrayal. But a person who regularly prays Fajr develops a deep emotional strength. They start the day with a powerful affirmation. Oh Allah, I trust you. I surrender to you. I seek you before I seek the world. This surrender becomes a source of comfort. When challenges arise, they remember the tranquility of Fajr and the connection they built with their Lord. Emotional resilience isn't built by avoiding hardship. It's built by anchoring the heart to something eternal. Fajr provides that anchor. Furthermore, there's protection in decision-making and productivity. The early hours after Fajr are full of barakah. The Prophet literally made dua. Oh Allah, bless my ummah, and this blessing manifests in many ways. Mental clarity, focus, energy, and sound judgment. People who begin their day with Fajr often make better choices because they started the day with the guidance of Allah. They're less reactive, less impulsive, and more composed. The barakah in time means you get more done with less stress. Your mind is sharp, your heart is calm, and your intentions are purified. That's divine protection on a practical level. Beyond the internal benefits, Fajr also attracts external protection from harm. We've all heard stories of accidents avoided, sudden help arriving, or moments of danger miraculously passing by after a person had risen for Fajr. Allah's protection is not always something we see, but it's constantly at work. Angels are dispatched for those who rise in prayer. Your day is not random anymore. It is under divine supervision. Let's also not forget the blessing, barakah, in your sustenance. Many people pray for risk, provision, but they don't show up at Fajr, the very time where Allah begins to open the doors of sustenance. Fajr trains you in discipline, which is the key to success in any area of life, business, studies, health, relationships. When you discipline your soul to wait for Fajr, Allah opens up your life. Opportunities find you, people trust you, your risk is purified, and you attract ease in ways you didn't imagine, not even in the realm of relationships. The one who prays Fajr gains protection. They are more likely to speak with gentleness, forgive more easily, and serve with humility. Why? Because they've already humbled themselves before Allah in the most sacred hours of the morning. Fajr softens the heart, and a soft heart is protected from arrogance, anger, jealousy, and other diseases that destroy human connections in the unseen world. Fajr is also a time of witnessing. The Quran says, indeed, the recitation of the Quran at Fajr is ever witnessed. Surah Al-Isra 17:78, who witnesses it? The angels. Your prayer is not only heard, it is recorded by noble scribes, and it ascends to the heavens as a testimony of your sincerity. Can you imagine that while most people are asleep, you are being honored in the realm of angels? What protection could be greater than being honored by Allah's creation for your devotion? Fajr also brings a powerful form of moral protection. It keeps your heart aligned with what is right. When you start your day with obedience, your conscience becomes stronger throughout the day. You feel guilty when tempted by sin. You're more likely to lower your gaze, guard your tongue, speak truthfully, and avoid backbiting. That's not just piety, it's protection from self-sabotage. Fajr shapes your character before the world has a chance to corrupt it. Perhaps one of the greatest forms of protection Fajr offers is the protection of your akhirah hereafter. On the day of judgment, the light of Fajr will shine for those who prayed it regularly. The Prophet said, "Give glad tidings to those who walk to the mosque in the darkness. They will have complete light on the day of resurrection." Tirmidhi. This light will guide you across the Sirat, the bridge over hellfire, while others stumble in dark. The one who prays Fajr in this life walks in light in the next. Finally, we must remember that the power of Fajr is not just in the act of waking early. It is in the love and discipline it instills in the heart. It teaches us that Allah comes first. It trains us to conquer our nafs, ego, defeat laziness, and live intentionally. The one who protects his Fajr will find that Allah protects everything else: his dignity, his family, his sustenance, his soul, and his akhirah.